When it comes to these actor cards from the B movie episode of Cars on the Road, I feel like I never really know how to refer to them. Because, I mean, is this Tony Motorfelt's real name? Is Doug Crankle's name really Doug Crankle? I don't know. It could be, very well so, but it could also just be their names that they're going by for the movie, that they're playing in, the Attack of the Space Zombies from Planet B, or whatever the heck it was called. I don't know. Either way, though, we have a brand new actor car from the B movie episode. Of course, the seventh episode of Cars on the Road today, and it feels good because we really haven't gotten all that many characters from the episode as diecast yet. But 2024 seems to be the year for them. Of course, we got Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with his slime. I still have yet to get him. And of course, we also got Jessica Carville, a little pity, and they even did President Mater. I almost thought that was from last year, but no, it's 2024 as well. And of course, the year before we got Doug and Bella and the regular Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard. So, I mean, I feel like when you kind of consider how many episodes there are from Cars on the Road, there's 9 of them. I feel like the amount of diecast we've gotten so far is pretty good, within the time span of about 2 years. But also, I feel like, we don't have as many as some of the other episodes. But it's fine, whatever. I guess Mattel's saving the best for last, maybe, because there is still a lot of cool, different characters that we still have yet to get from the episode in diecast form. But whatever. Welcome on back, guys, to the Cars Garage. Today, of course, I have Tony Motorfelt. I think that's his real name. Who knows? But he is just a repaint of Rosco from Cars 3. And I'm really happy that they decided to actually release him in a singles pack because they never really did that with Rosco before. Well, I guess they did in 2017, but that was when he was a different model because they underscaled him when they first made him for the Cars 3 main line, and they redid him in like 2018, and they did it from China and Thailand. I actually only just found out that they made the bigger version of Roscoe from China. But yeah, they did. Very briefly, but they did. And when they did him then, they made him as deluxe. But now we have a Roscoe repaint. They used the correct size and model, but he's in a singles pack. So that just goes to show you they could have done that all along with our boy Roscoe. But Mattel, being Mattel, they want to try to make you pay a couple extra dollars to buy a deluxe. Anyway, so yeah, he's not really as bad as I thought he was, this guy, in terms of like looking like Roscoe. When I first saw him in the episode, I thought he looked exactly the same as him. I thought the only difference was like the sheriff badge that he has on his sides and his hat. And I mean, other than like the expression, I didn't think the diecast would really look any different. But he is a completely different color, of course. Roscoe is green and Tony is brown. But in the episode, it's very hard to tell that he's brown. You can tell if you kind of like look very closely, but it is hard to tell. He kind of comes across green. I think that's because of all like the green lights that are just shining, I guess, from the slime and just the odd lighting of the room that McQueen and good old Sheriff Tony was in that episode when they were acting like what was the scene? Well, he appears in a couple of different scenes, I think, but the main scene is when he's obviously kind of like going back and forth with McQueen. McQueen's trying to say his line, and this guy, good old Tony, he's like, "What the heck? Why can't you say, 'Don't look at me'? It's not that hard. Just say it with some expression, and we're good to go. We can move on from the scene." But of course, McQueen's a horrible actor. We all know that. But Tony's a good one. Anyways, in the back, as seen in Cars on the Road, got the Tractor Ghost, Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with Slime, President Mater. I like how they put both of them on here because they are both from the same episode, of course. Got the Quadratrochosaur, Space Creature McQueen, and Cave Mater. I can't wait to get all 3 of these, actually, and the Quadratrochosaur. I guess the only 2 that I have are these 2 right here. So, yeah, I gotta get moving with these 2024 Cars on the Road releases. This guy came out of case G, though, and it is going to pay me to open him because I got him and Chris Freightman, the other new truck, kind of. Oh, yeah, they're both trucks, I guess. I don't know why. I look at this guy and I think he's like an SUV, but no, he is a truck. But yeah, we got both of these guys in case G, and I just have been neglecting to open them up because, well, I don't know. They're kind of on the rare side, I feel like, right now at least, and I only have one of each of them. But I have gotten a second Radiator Springs McQueen, so he's also from the case. Hopefully, I can get Tony and Chris and Boost with Flames again to keep in the package. But I think I'm going to open them all up eventually. And today, well, we're starting with Tony because he actually won the poll that I put out for you guys. So you guys must really like Tony. Let's waste no time, guys. Let's open them up right now. There is certainly a new sheriff in town, folks, and he looks absolutely amazing. I just love everything about this Tony Motorfelt guy right here. I mean, first of all, the size of him, he is so heavy. It's really nice to get a heavy car for a change after reviewing Jessica Carville not too long ago. I mean, she's about as light as they come. At least she came with a cone, but still. I mean, Tony, he's probably like 4 times as heavy as her, so that's really awesome. But yeah, before we get too far into this video, I did want to do something different and actually compare him to a car you probably didn't think I'd compare him to, and that's Sheriff, because I mean he is the new sheriff in town. He really is. This is our old sheriff that we've known for a long time, and this is our new sheriff here. He's definitely not a young pup, though, in the B movie that he is acting in. I think he's supposed to kind of be an older cop, and McQueen is kind of like his second in command, almost like his trainee, if you will. That's kind of what a deputy is, I think, at least. I don't know. I was trying to look up information about like rankings of different like police officer kind of like jobs that you can have, like sheriff, marshal, deputy. I really have not really come to much of a conclusion, but I think deputy is lower than sheriff. I mean, obviously, sheriff's like the top, I would assume, right? But, anyways, I'll show you where he appears at now. In the B movie episode, he acts quite a bit in a couple different scenes. Of course, the first scene is when Lightning McQueen can't say his line and he keeps getting slimed. Tony's just next to him. It's like he's already said his line of dialogue and he's ready to go, but McQueen is just so bad at acting that he just can't even get the words out. And then we also see Tony appear in the next acting scene where him and McQueen are at the graveyard and Gravedigger Mater comes on out and starts doing his classic hijinks, and then he just kind of becomes the star of the show, of course. But I do like how Tony is in a couple of scenes in the movie. It's pretty cool. He is one of the more main characters, I would say, in the B movie episode, and well, more so the B movie that they're actually shooting in the World of Cars. Of course, what was it called again? The Attack of the Space Zombies from Planet B. Very long name, but I like it. I don't really like zombie movies, but I do like westerny cop movies, you know, kind of. I guess I don't know. I feel like a lot of movies I watch always have old westerny cops, kind of like Tony in it, especially like Sonic the Hedgehog. I love that movie, the live action one. And there's an Donut Lord. He like drives. Obviously, he's not a real car, but he drives a old kind of like cop car. And even though it's more of a car, rather than like SUV. I guess he's a truck actually. Yeah, Tony's a truck. What am I saying? But I don't know. He still has a similar color scheme, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so I do think he's a little bit dark, to be completely honest. I mean, he doesn't really match McQueen at all. I don't know if he's supposed to, though. That's the thing. Like, I feel like, yeah, they should probably match. They're both, working for the same line of police officers, I guess. I don't know, but it just doesn't really make a ton of sense to me as to why they don't match. But I don't know if they're really supposed to either, because, like, I mean, McQueen, he looks accurate when you look at his artwork, and then Tony also kind of looks accurate when you look at his artwork. So maybe they're not supposed to match. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making a fuss over nothing. He does have a plastic eye plate, though. He looks pretty stern. I love the expression. The mouth is different from Roscoe, but other than that, I do think that the castings are the exact same. Doesn't look like they changed anything else because this is the Thailand Roscoe, the deluxe one. So much more detail though. Like all the dirt is just so prevalent on Tony, whereas it was just kind of cartoonish on Roscoe. You know, like the mud splatter, the wheels. It just looks kind of like someone just did it themselves, made it like a dirty version of Roscoe custom. But Tony, like it looks like actually straight out of Mattel's factory, which is cool. Like it looks like they did a really good job. All the dirt all around him. He is like fully made of metal too. Like this entire truck bed is metal, and even like this part up here over his truck bed, the whole like extra bit of room that he attached onto himself to kind of make him look more so like an SUV, I guess. Even that is metal. It looks like the hat portions up here, I think even this part is plastic. At least this part is for sure. You can hear that. I don't really know if this part is or not. There is a crack. Yeah, it is. You can see the white mark. Usually that's an indicator. But I don't know. It's very well detailed. Not on the back for some reason. It's just like the plasticky color. Yeah, you can definitely tell that part's plastic. But here you really can. Like it does look like it's kind of like metal. It looks very detailed, which is cool. I mean, all around, it's just a great looking car. It says sheriff, of course, on the side and the sheriff's badge. I noticed though in the artwork, this little piece of silver trim is supposed to be hanging down here, And they did actually like emboss it onto his door there, so like you can actually feel that it is like hanging lower. It's like broken off part of it, but they didn't really paint it that way. So I don't really get why they went to the extra effort of making the casting actually different. It might be no, wow. Wow, that is weird, guys. No, it's not like that on Roscoe. It is completely straight across. They actually went to the effort of changing the casting, like the actual model of this guy right here, to make this go down. Let me show you the artwork. That is pretty wild. But then they didn't go to the effort of painting it to make it actually look like it's hanging down. Like, look at that. It's just supposed to look like broken, I guess, right there. It just makes him look kind of like older and more like run down, like an old time westerny cop, I guess, like he is. But why would they not paint it? Like, why make it part of the model, but then not paint it? How stupid is that? I can't believe that. That is cool. That's, I guess, that and the mouth is like the only differences. Can't believe I noticed that though. That's really cool. Like the whole front fascia is the same. He's got the big old mustachy kind of grill, the headlights there. His bumpers are made of plastic, but they kind of detail them nice. You know, they're dirty. I like that. This side also has the sheriff text and the sheriff badge there. It's very blurry though. Like I must say, it's not really all that great. They didn't do a really amazing job with the decals. The few decals he has, it's very grainy. Even the one on his hat there, it's the same one I think, but it's on plastic, so you'd think it would look better than the decal on metal, but no, it doesn't really look any better. If anything, it looks worse. I like the dirt that they even put on the hat though. That's cool. Like the light bar looks great too. Like all around it, it's just kind of like almost looks like water damage. You know, it's probably supposed to be an old hat, so it makes sense. It's all like dirty and everything. And I just really like how they detailed it. I think the light bar is the same as McQueen's. Eh, pretty similar at least. I mean, same colors, but I don't know if the shapes. No, it's a little bit different. It is a little bit different. You can kind of tell. This one's more squared off. I think this one's kind of more rounded. I think at the corners, but he does have quite a lot of plastic inserts, like these little mirror things here. I don't really know what they're supposed to be. These mirrors on the side, the big ones, are plastic, of course, as well. And little side stepper things down here, obviously plastic as well. It's got one on both sides. And then his wheels look very nice and dirty-fied. I like that a lot. And he also has a little exhaust on his left side back here. That's kind of cool. Interesting spot for an exhaust to stick out. I like that though. Not on the other side either. So they did actually like carve into the model just to put that there. I think Roscoe has that too. Yeah, he does. I kind of remembered that. Looks good though. Really does look good. And then on the back, he does have a license plate. For some reason, I kind of didn't think he would have one, but he does. This is M02 dash, I think, 0 or Q8 5, 6. I don't know. It's hard to read, but yeah, I don't know. They can't read the text on top, so not very clear. Not a great job with that, Thailand. But the tire in the back looks great. The taillights look very nice, much more detailed than Roscoe's, which were just kind of like one color, one shade of red. But I like Roscoe's license plate. You can actually read that one. This is like one of the first Thailand cars, and you can actually read that really well. So I don't really get why they screwed up so badly on the decal quality on Tony. But I like Roscoe's because it says "in charge." It's like supposed to be like he's in charge. He is kind of supposed to be like a villain, I guess, in Cars 3 in a way. Tony, though, he is not. He is a very nice car. He's just trying to act. He might have a little bit of a temper, but I mean, imagine working with Lightning McQueen as an actor. He just can't act for nothing. T07A is the date stamp, though, and he does have some triangular shaped screws, which Roscoe also has. That's kind of funny. I don't really know why they don't have rivets. Instead, they both have screws, but whatever. Looks cool. I like him a lot. Now it's time to compare him to Roscoe, though, just a bit more, because I actually have two versions of Roscoe, obviously, as you guys know. The older, smaller one, and then the newer, deluxe one. But yeah, I gotta say, I think there's more detail with like the dirt and everything on Tony. I think in that sense he looks better. I mean, just look at the bumpers too. Like this one looks so plasticky, and then Tony's actually looks nice and dirty, and of the elements. And Roscoe, I know he's not out in a graveyard, out in like a mud field, acting it out, but instead he's at a demolition derby. So I feel like he has even more reason to be even like way more dirtier than Tony. So I don't really get that, but I am happy that they matched the eyelid color to his like the rest of the brown on his paint. That's cool because Rosco, that's something they always struggled with the Thailand one. I never really thought they did a great job. It's so dark, like his eyelids, they just don't match the other green parts on him. It just doesn't really look that great. But this is a smaller baby Roscoe. He's not accurate at all, but he is cute. It's cool to have. I'm glad I have him opened. I think I got him at the Dollarama a long time ago. And it's not only that he's the wrong size, he also just has a bunch of kind of like color inaccuracies. Like this whole back part is supposed to be white, of course, and it's not, or like light gray, I guess. But nope, they screwed up on that too. Wouldn't that be weird though if Tony was this size though? Like when I first saw him in the singles pack when he was revealed online, I was kind of thinking like, didn't they go back to the old size because I knew it was the same model? But luckily not. They didn't do that. He is a Hollismobile campster. I mean, at least that's what Roscoe was from his little description in the Meet the Cars book from Cars 3. So since he's the same model, you could probably assume that Tony is also that, a Hollismobile campster. And he was actually voiced by some guy named Dave Fenoy, who actually also voices Justice Stern in the episode, which is really cool. And if you're interested to know who he's named off of, well, it's Tony Mitzelfelt. Mitzelfelt, that's a funny last name. And he was actually the shot lighting artist on Cars 3 and the Cars on the Road lighting technical lead. So pretty darn cool. I like Tony a lot though. He's a really awesome car. I think Mattel did a great job with him. I really do wish they would have, put that paint there a little bit downwards just to make it look like that little piece of silver trim is actually broken. But whatever. Other than that, he looks really great. Jessica Kerbal fell down. Poor Jessica. But you're just not as good of a car as Tony. I'm sorry. I just can't really care as much about a little pink pity. I mean, this guy, he's awesome. And next up, hopefully, or very soon at least, we'll be reviewing the other new truck from the Case G, and that is, of course, Chris Roman. So look forward to that very soon. Here he is back here, a nice little sneak peek. Anyways, though, thank you guys as always for watching. Hope that you did enjoy, and I'll see you next time right here on the Cars Garage.